G'day everyone, we're back with some more nosp3 action this time. This is map 20 to reserve. Let's get into it. Alright, shoot at the start, just get everything infighting. Now, if that spider mastermind doesn't shoot and start infighting with the Manx, you're in trouble, because it will easily shred you. Going back around to grab the Mega, clear these vials out. Hopefully none of the Astral Cacos push in on you when you're doing that. Just run around here just to pull the Hell Knights over to that side so we can hopefully push past them without taking too much damage. Try and clear out most of the ones up here before moving on, just because it's a bit awkward during cleanup to go back up those stairs. And then we just run into the next fight. Here we're just trying to clear out as many revs as we can until we can start pushing in behind and clearing out the cybers. My first exit on this, I was just doing a mad rush past the cybers as soon as there was free space. I don't really think that actually saves all that much time on reflection, and it's incredibly dangerous to do, because if they don't leave a nice little gap for you to run into the teleporter, then you've got to just hope that you can push one of them out of the way with the BFG traces, and that's very unreliable. So I just changed it up just so that we now just clear out all the cybers before pushing through. They're not all that great at infighting anyway, so leaving them alive is not all that much of an improvement time-wise. Back into the main area. I always forget which direction I want to push there, but need to pick up that rocket launcher to open up a couple of side bruises. I had one or two attempts where I completely forgot to do that and was missing a few kills. And then we just start working down these cybers. These guys can be a little bit awkward to kill, and you're sort of on a time limit here because eventually the cacos will start pushing in behind you, and you're taking a lot of incidental damage. You can't afford to be looking behind you and dodging stuff, so I always like to fill up on cells from that position back to the right there. Just during the final cleanup, you want to have the cells over to your left near the finale entrance available to you, which you'll see that later. Still a couple of bars alive left in the pack, which it would be nice to clear those now, but you just can't be confident that they're going to be out of the crowd. Usually they're deep into the crowd and they're impossible to kill. That final Cyberus is always stuck there, so I never have to worry about him. I did test going into the finale as soon as I killed those cybers, rather than doing the cleanup on these first two fights, but it ended up being a little bit slower just because you have to BFG through the imps. Whereas if you go and do this first, then the imps will just filter out, so you don't have to worry about BFGing through them. So, final couple of revs. A little bit worried about the presence of cacos there. I have had one or two attempts where a caco will get into that into that room and just won't be able to navigate out. Thankfully, this attempt I didn't have any issues there. Now I'm just going to start the finale. Start working down these cacos. Cacos are a real problem for space on this fight. But you can't really afford to stay there for too long because the revs will start sniping you pretty comfortably. Same with your Acrotrons. So my main goal in this is just to clear out the revenants as quickly as I can, because the switch up there that opens up the exit and also allows you to teleport back to the start is behind the revs. But you can't there's far too many up there to rush them, and you also can't focus on them to the exclusion of everything else, because you will eventually just run out of space. So I kind of just, whenever I've got some free room, I'll focus on the Revenants. Otherwise I'll just start trying to clear out the Hell Knights. There is a big group of Cybers in this fight, kind of on the opposite side of the room to where we are now. They always seem to suck at pathing out and getting infighting going well. That's kind of part of why I was staying towards the entrance of the room a little bit, and you'll see I'm going back to the entrance now to try and help them get out, but ultimately you end up having to do most of the killing in this fight by yourself. Nearly ate a rocket. Lucky last minute dodge. So quite a fair bit of damage pushing through those Arachnotrons, but we have a decent amount of Megas in this fight, so you can kind of afford to use your health as a resource when you want to push through a favourable path. Unfortunately got pinched by that Cyber. I probably should have backed out, but didn't prove fatal. Yeah, just continuing to clear down those Revs. When possible, I'll try and use that Rev trail that I got behind me to clear out some Hell Knights, but it's again not something you can be 100% consistent with. And I do like to get some damage on these Cybers before I leave the finale. Just number one, because if they're all alive when you come back down to the finale, oftentimes they can just completely block off your ability to push into this room due to infinite height. And yeah, number two, just because, as I said, they don't infight all that well, so you tend to have to do most of your damage to them anyway. Very important not to try and drop off the edge near the switch there, because oftentimes there'll be Cybers right below you, and they'll block you off again. Just refilling on health and ammo before we go back to the start. And this is the big reason why going to the finale early is worth it, because everything just groups up right here near the exit. In my first exit, I was clearing all of this stuff out when it was in kind of all scattered around the room, and it was just very slow. That exit was about a minute slower than this, so definitely a worthwhile change throughout. Fortunately, I don't have a kill counter that I need to hit when I go back down here, because I can't know consistently how many are going to be alive down here, but you just kind of, again, you have to hope, and you have to also be confident that having everything pulled to the start is going to mean that you don't miss anything. That's it. Alrighty, thanks everyone for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.